Hiya, my name is Francis, and I would like to welcome you to my textile design workshop. Some of us may be recycling more often than usual because we're at home a lot more. So I would like to show you what you can do with the plastic waste that is collecting in our recycling bins. We are going to learn how to make a graphic, pattern design stationery holder using a recycled plastic bottle combined with stitch. Before we get started, here are a variety of materials you may have at home that could be used to create interesting stitch techniques and textures on plastic waste. For design ideas on plastic waste, you can use your imagination and create shapes and patterns as you go along, or take your ideas from elsewhere. There is inspiration all around us where you can find colour, pattern and texture. You can develop a design onto plastic, making up patterns as you go along. Your ideas could be developed from your own drawings or from printed images or images you have traced. If you do decide to trace, you can trace a pattern onto paper, then place the tracing on the inside or outside of plastic with tape. Then transfer your pattern using a needle and pierce holes through the plastic, following the lines and outlines of the pattern shapes. You can even use the moulded shapes of the plastic waste as part of your design. Your design can be as bold, simple or detailed as you like. It is up to you how you choose to create your designs on plastic. We are now going to make the plastic stationery holder combined with stitch. Choose a plastic bottle with moulded shapes that is not too thin that it breaks, or not too thick that you can't cut or pierce holes through it. Use a large eye needle with your embroidery thread, as the embroidery thread is thicker than the standard size sewing thread that is often used with a smaller needle. Cut the bottle in half with a scalpel knife and then with a pair of scissors. Make sure you use both knife and scissors safely. You may need an adult to help you. Before we start stitching with the embroidery thread, we are going to make holes in the plastic holder with the needle. The holes are made to create the shapes and patterns of your design, and will then be stitched with the thread to add colour and also pattern and texture. Make sure you use the needle safely. You may need an adult to help you. We will be using the curved moulded shapes of the plastic as part of our design. Thread your needle with your choice of coloured embroidery thread. You can use a single or a double thread and then tie a knot. Here we are using a double thread. You could use a variety of basic hand stitch techniques like running stitch or backing stitch once you have made your holes. We will be using the satin stitch, which is a row of flat stitches created to fill an area of a shape. Once you have finished making your pattern holes, begin your first stitch at the base of the holder and stitch upwards, so wherever you finish stitching, you are able to secure and end your last stitch. It will be easier ending towards the top than from the bottom. Here are two ways to secure and end your stitch if you are using a double or a single thread. You can now play and add your own geometric shapes and patterns, and continue to make holes in the plastic and stitch. You can also create holes that you may not want stitched to add shape and texture. You may also want to use different threads and needle sizes too. Finish design by adding a decorative stitch at the top edge of holder. You can play and experiment with different decorative edges depending on where you place your holes. We will finish with the blanket stitch. And there you have it, a bold and bright embroidery patterned recycled plastic stationery holder. For your own project, you might decide that you would like your plastic waste to be created into a decorative ornament to be displayed at home, or a storage container to organise all your bits and bobs you may have lying about. Whatever you decide to make, enjoy the exciting process of designing, creating and recycling old materials to give them new life.